The Constitution is to be used as a shield to protect people's rights, not as a sword to take down some people's rights and others. To bend the curve and slow the spread of COVID-19 in our state, we must all work together as Michiganders. When you see those numbers rise, don't think that it doesn't mean your participation, your staying at home isn't having an impact, because it is and it will.
Good afternoon, my fellow Michiganders. Good afternoon, my fellow Americans. Here we are today going to talk about, again, the governor. When she gives us lemons, we are going to make vats and vats and vats of lemonade, especially with the clown show that we are currently in, and we continue. I mean, we're shutting down all these businesses. We're ruining these people's lives. And I knew in my head at the time, I could just foresee what was going to happen. I knew that lockdowns, if you do it for a long period of time, do more harm than good. We're social beings. And I just had all this anger inside of me. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to make a Facebook group. And I did it for my own personal expression. I just wanted to get something off my chest. I just made like a 2 to 3 minute video, just like, why is this happening? This doesn't make sense. And I posted it. And that night, I go home to my wife, and there's like 500 people that joined our group. And I looked at it, I was like, holy cow. Like, there's 500 people that feel just like I do. And that's one of the things I think with conservatives, we thought we were alone. And when I woke up the next morning, it was 5,000. And I went to work that day, and later on that day, it was 100,000. And the second night, it was 200,000. The third night, it was 300,000 people. And I looked at my wife on a Sunday afternoon, I was like, you know, what the heck did I do? And then we got clipped overnight. Boom, Facebook took us down. The reason we got taken down was we basically got a notification, or I got a notification from Facebook that said I was advocating the spread of disease. And the post that they got me on was when I was doing a Facebook Live at Carl the Barber's at his facility when he was refusing to shut down. And I didn't interview anybody. All I did is held up my phone and I was like, hey, I'm at Carl the Barber's. We're in here. We have somebody that's standing up.
Governor Whitmer, armed militia members are now pledging to block police from enforcing the closure of the Wausau barbershop that is open in defiance of the stay-at-home order. What are your thoughts on this and those doubting your authority to enforce these orders?
Thanks for the question. I first want to start by saying I know how frustrating this can be and tough this can be for people across our state, people that are self-isolating, people that are doing all of the right things and contributed to this decline that we've seen. I also know a lot of people that could use a haircut. You know, yours truly included, as well as my husband, frankly. But what matters most here is that we are on a trajectory where we have saved lives, where the most crucial thing is that business owners have customers who will come to them and employees that know it's safe to show up to work. What we need to do is continue what we have done. It's working. And for people that want to voice their frustration, that's fine. But I expect people to follow the law. These executive orders are not a suggestion. They're not optional. They're not helpful hints. This is an order to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which is a deadly virus, so that we can save lives. And I expect all Michiganders to comply with the law unless and until a court decides to the contrary. That is my expectation.
Following up on that, though, Governor, there are several businesses and people who are operating in clear violation of the stay-at-home order. At what point does the administration start enforcing some of these things or compelling local law enforcement to do so? There are several local law enforcement members who have said they don't plan on enforcing this.
I've been very clear. This is these executive orders have the force of law, and we expect people to abide by them. Most businesses in the state have a license that is granted from the state, and they're putting themselves at risk by putting their customers and themselves at risk by opening prematurely. We know right now in Shiawassee County, we've got quite a few COVID-19 cases. We know that the hospital system is concerned, as are hospital systems across our state. We have a strategic re-engagement plan. The plans that we have executed have worked. We need to stay the course and do this in a smart way, and everyone needs to continue doing their part. The devastation from a second wave could dwarf the hardship that we've already encountered. We've made these sacrifices. Let's not make them in vain. Let's everyone continue to do their part so that we can move on to the next phase and then the next phase and get back to a new normal here in this state and get more people re-engaged.
Governor, some nursing homes in the state have been designated as COVID-19 regional care hubs, and there has been the placing of COVID positive patients in the nursing homes with negative patients that are supposed to be separated. This is a policy that New York has recently changed. So the question is, are you, like New York, willing to make changes to Michigan's policy regarding this? And is the state planning to take additional steps to protect those residents?
So I may ask Dr. J to come back to the microphone and talk to you a little bit about this.
So you're absolutely right. We're very concerned about our residents who are living in these congregate care facilities, including our nursing homes. We're revving up, as Tricia Foster said, to be able to test people in nursing homes across the state, similar to like we're doing in our prison population. It's a good move. It's a good step to make these regional hubs. And I think as we move forward, we have to look at making sure we're really implementing best practices, looking at other best practices across the state as well, making sure these nursing facilities and these regional hubs have enough PPE and that they're really implementing the right protocols to keep nursing residents safe. We've already got our local health departments, these strike teams that are a combination of CDC staff, state staff, local health department staff that are providing technical assistance as well. But you're absolutely right. We have to continue to be concerned about our most vulnerable in these nursing facilities.
Those people that's going to Ohio, I pray that you are doing your part not to bring COVID-19 home, and that if you haven't resorted to that, Google how to do a haircut or throw your hair in a ponytail or curl it and get through the next couple of weeks and we can resume some of these things.
Your decision over the last 3 months has proven to all of us that you are a direct threat to those very words that were inked by our forefathers. What's happening right now should never happen again. What's happening right now is that no governor should ever have this much unilateral power to do the things that she's doing.
We are fighting back. We are starting our petition to repeal the 1945 law so no governor will ever have this much power again. This is your opportunity. This is your time.
We can get it to the legislature, get it voted, get it through, we can end the tyranny.
This is our Super Bowl event. This is everything that we've talked about ever since the beginning, folks. Ever since I started the Michiganders Against Excessive Quarantine. And I told you I would never give up on any of you and I would not quit until this was done. And this is it. We are coming for that 1945 law.
We are here today to celebrate 539,000 signatures in 80 days.
I feel like Mike Jordan, give me the rock and I'm scoring. Hey, came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning.
Join the movement. Be a part of history. God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan. And God bless these United States.
States of emergency are things that governments do when they need powers to take unusual actions to protect people. None of this is easy, but it's absolutely essential to save lives. We will need to extend the state of emergency.
The state Supreme Court has ruled that Governor Whitmer did not have the authority to extend the state of emergency without legislative approval.
I was out deer hunting with my son, his first time deer hunting, and that little alert came on my phone that the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the legislature that deemed every executive order that woman has done to all of us unconstitutional. I hit him in the chest, and I thought we were done. I thought we won.
What a fantastic day, a monumental day. Not only did we, the people, hammer down and deliver over 539,000 signatures for our Unlock Michigan, the repeal of that 1945 law, but God has decided to bless us again and allow the Supreme Court to come through and vote in favor of who? We, the people. We've been waiting for this moment. We all have. But our work is not done.
The Michigan Health Department today issued new COVID safety regulations that mirror the executive orders Governor Whitmer had previously issued.
I never in a million years would have thought that she would have weaponized the health department. I didn't even know that was possible.
It comes just 72 hours after the Michigan Supreme Court ruling that said Governor Whitmer did not have the authority to issue emergency orders to mitigate the spread of COVID-19.
The ruling does not mean that the orders I issued violated the law. Although I disagree with the conclusion, the court held the law was unconstitutional, meaning the legislature never had the power to pass it in 1945.
She brought the hammer down at the end of November, shutting our restaurants down to 25% capacity with a 10 p.m. curfew. Thank you, Nanny Governor, for protecting us, right? Brought down the hammer to these kids, canceled their athletics.
Hi everyone, it's Governor Whitmer. It's hard to believe that 2021 is coming to an end. We've been through a lot this year. For the second year in a row, we've lived through history. And it's not easy. Michiganders are tough. We've all been tested. And through it all, I think we've seen some of the best in us too. We've seen the best in us in our medical professionals, our teachers, our first responders, and our moms and dads, and of course our kids, who are stronger and kinder than we often realize. Right now, we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to build a bright future for our kids. Next year, we can make historic investments in the kitchen table issues that families face every day. We can build smooth, safe roads and rebuild our bridges, deliver clean water, ensure every worker in every community can pursue their potential. And when we come together, capable of greatness, I'll continue to work with anyone, for everyone, and continue putting Michiganders first.
Big difference. Masks can keep us safe. I think that this is something that is important for every one of us to do, and I want people to know that we're serious. We got through it by wearing masks and staying home and staying away from one another and washing our hands. We can't let our guard down, or we're going to slip and find ourselves back in a crisis where we have to start shutting things down again.
It's to protect all of our rights. And when you use it as a weapon to take away rights of some and protect only rights of few, you jeopardize the rights of all of us.
The last 2 years have unleashed an awful lot of cruelty in our society. You see it everywhere. David Frum, a former advisor to George W. Bush, proposed that hospitals should withhold life-saving medical treatment from anyone who won't get the shot. It's grotesque. Americans didn't used to talk about each other like this. Now it's very common. It tells you that Americans are dangerously angry. We need to fix that. And yet the people in charge have done the opposite. They've done nothing to calm the population. They've stoked the rage and they've leveraged it. Why? Because they benefit when the American population is divided against itself.
The fewer people that wear masks, the more people that are going to get sick. The more people that get sick, the less likely we can continue moving forward with our economy, and the more likely we're going to have to move backwards. That means it's less likely our kids will be in school.
These so-called pods set up in the band and choir rooms. Individual students getting inside, zipping themselves in, and then removing their masks to play their instruments or to sing.
If you look at the children who are hospitalized, many of them are hospitalized with COVID as opposed to because of COVID. And what we mean by that, if a child goes in the hospital, they automatically get tested for COVID, and they get counted as a COVID hospitalized individual, when in fact they may go in for a broken leg or appendicitis or something like that. So it's overcounting the number of children who are, quote, hospitalized with COVID as opposed to because of COVID.
Oh, so it turns out it wasn't COVID after all. The kids didn't really have COVID. In a bad way, COVID isn't really a threat to kids. Looks like the conspiracy theorists who are now banned from Twitter were right all along. The official numbers were fake. He spent 2 years crushing the weakest among us, and they are indeed crushed. Imagine wearing a mask to second grade. Imagine never seeing your teacher's face or watching your friends laugh. Imagine being older. Imagine spending junior year of high school alone in your room with only the internet for company. What would happen to you? You'd be badly damaged. Kids in America have been badly damaged. The numbers show it clearly. This is a crime. No one has been prosecuted for that crime. No one likely ever will be prosecuted for it.
This past year and a half, my goodness gracious, when the people fear the government, there's tyranny, isn't there? And we've been experiencing a lot of tyranny lately. But when the government fear the people, there is liberty.
She said yesterday, the shooting of former President Trump was a disgusting act of violence that caps off an alarming years-long trend in our politics. Instead, let's choose to move forward together. It's always sunshine and rainbows here in Michigan, folks. We all hold hands here. Let's chart a better path for our politics. If you see unproductive words designed to tear us apart, call them out, no matter who they come from. Hold each other accountable, even in our own party. Well, Nanny Governor, I guess if you want me to do that, I would be honored to do that to your ass right now. So let's reflect back to some of the unproductive words that you used during the pandemic designed to do what? To tear us apart, to incite violence, to strip away our constitutional rights, our freedoms, our sacred values. Let's call you out right now. Here we go. Right now, unbelievable. If you want to do anything, just look about all of her press conferences before of last year with President Trump. She didn't say too many nice things about our president.
The President of the United States, 10 days after a plot to kidnap, put me on trial, and execute me. 10 days after that was uncovered, the president is at it again and inspiring and incentivizing and inciting this kind of domestic terrorism. It is wrong. It's got to end.
What was that? Did you want to 86 R45, which is in gang terms to murder the 45th president of the United States? That's what it seemed like. That seems pretty unproductive, Governor. And that may designed to do what? To tear us apart. So let's move on, because I'm just the gift that keeps on giving, just like you were doing to us during the pandemic with the executive orders. Here we go.
Sworn an oath to uphold the law, and right now the law is that everyone's got a mask up. We've got to implore one another to step up and to do the right thing. And Michiganders are smart, we're tough, we can figure out how to do it politely, but also forcefully.
She said that to implore one another to step up and do the right thing, to figure it out, to do it politely, but also forcefully. She went on to say, if we don't consent, and I quote the governor, then we are considering if we need to take this a step further to strengthen compliance. Did you just threaten Michiganders? Did you just threaten Americans? Because that sounded very familiar to me. This quote from King George III, once vigorous measures appear to be the only means left of bringing the Americans to a due submission to the mother country, the colonies will submit. We, as Americans, have been promised by our Creator unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Governor, your decision over the last 3 months has proven to all of us that you are a direct threat to those very words that were inked by our forefathers.
All right, folks, we have a 3-minute clip of her press conference talking about the photo that was taken with her and her friends at a restaurant this past weekend in Lansing, which I'm still shocked that she did. When I first saw that picture, it had to be photoshopped. There's no way that she would make that mistake again, especially just going through everything that she did with flying down to see her father in Miami, where she went on the podcast and lied, and not knowing that she would get caught with her hand in the cookie jar, because 2 weeks before that podcast, she actually already flew down, saw her dad in Miami on a private jet, which she only paid a little over $800 for a $30,000 flight, and finding out that a 501c4 nonprofit, talk about dark money, right? Paying for that flight. So there's so many questions that I have right now. So we're going to analyze these clips, and I'm going to give you my perception on it. But I'm still shocked that she did this, and I don't know why she did this. I don't know why, if she just lost all sense of reality of the Michigan people because she's an elitist, or she just doesn't care. So let's just go through this together, and we'll talk about some things.
You know what? I made a mistake. I owned up to it. I recognize it now. It was unintentional.
Wait, what? Unintentional? Okay. Yeah, you made a mistake. You owned up to it because you got caught. You're going to hold yourself accountable now, which is fine because you got caught. But to say that it was unintentional, that's clown show. That is ultimate clown show, because when you are bringing down the hammer to all these small restaurants that you continue to do, and you come out and say that it was unintentional, if you're putting these policies and rules and bringing down the hammer, so you better follow them to the T. Dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure that you're doing everything far and beyond what's expected of you. As an elected official, that's called true service. So as an elected leader, you should be doing these things, because she is not. She does not get that title. She is an elected official, not a leader, because leaders don't do this. You should have just said, yep, I made a mistake. I'm holding myself accountable. Let's go forward. But to say and give yourself the get out of jail free card to say it was unintentional, come on. That's garbage. That's clown show.
You know, I was with a group of 100% vaccinated people, and tables were moved together, and I really didn't think about it, and I should have.
Wow. So you're with a group of people moved their tables together, you didn't think about it. Okay. They were all fully vaccinated. Interesting concept. Did you prove that they were fully vaccinated? Did they bring their vaccine passports? Right? Did they show you their papers? Which there's a lot of businesses out there that are requiring their employees to do just that. We're just throwing MIOSHA rules right out the window right now. They just don't matter in times of a pandemic, right? Especially with the virus that we have well over a 99% chance of surviving if infected. So, you know, the ADA, the MIOSHA, that's all gone. Who cares? You know, people who cannot tolerate a mask. You just threw all those rules out. And now you're saying that everybody in that room was fully vaccinated. Did they show you their papers? Because right now, there are organizations and there are businesses that are requiring people to show proof that they were vaccinated. And if they don't, they have to wear a mask. Unbelievable. And that's what you're going to go with? Show us the proof. Did you get the proof? I don't know. Clown show.
So I apologize for that, and hope that when leaders, whether they are office holders or leaders at the local level,
you're not a leader,
or my children for that matter, when you make a mistake, fess up to it and do better, and that's exactly what you did.
Okay, I agree with all that. You make a mistake, you fess up to it, you own it, and then you do better. Absolutely. So why didn't you do that when you made the mistake and lied on the podcast and lied to all of us and say you didn't travel? And then come to find out you traveled 2 weeks before that podcast. That is what a leader should have done at that time, is said, I made a mistake. Yep, folks, I flew down, I did this, and be transparent. Where leaders don't dodge questions. Leaders do not basically not answer the question when was asked where would the money come from. That's not transparency. So she is describing everything that she is not. Again, that's how an elitist acts. Rules for thee, not for me. Do as I say, not as I do.
Governor, do you think Landshark should be fined for allowing you to violate its policies?
Great question.
If not, do you think
should they be
other
fined?
fines against other pulled back that were issued by MIOSHA?
So I'll just say this, I put out a statement, I wrote that statement. It is, it was an honest mistake, and I have apologized for it. I think that we have specifically not gone forward and penalized businesses that are trying to do the right thing. It's those that have flouted and put people's safety at risk that,
Flouted and put people's safety at risk. She went there. Okay. Because we all know she hasn't been following any of the science and data, no matter how many times she comes on and lies and says that she does. Because she's following political science, folks. Because all the science and data that I've been seeing shows that we should have been opened up long ago. And lockdowns were going to do more harm than good. However, for her to come out and call out these businesses that had no choice, they either stand up and open or their livelihood was gone. And I'm talking about generational family businesses. There's been over 6,000 small restaurants that have shut down because of her draconian measures. People's livelihoods taken away, people's dreams squashed, opportunities diminished, all because of this woman. And for her to come out and call them out and say, well, they flouted it. They did it out of spite for me. Garbage, clown show. I have talked to these people. I have talked to Spangler's and Bowen's and the Iron Pig and Wood Chips Barbecue and Jimmy's Roadhouse. All of these restaurants that had no choice but to stand up. They stand up or they close down. And so for you to call them out and say they were not protecting their patrons, okay, if you really want to own up to the science and data, because a lot of these people or places were packed, where's the science and data that showed that all these people spread COVID and people were dying? There isn't any. And you know what? Let's put the icing on the cake, because there's other states who have done it right. And where is the COVID hell? You see how she continues to run with her narrative like she saved us all? No, she has put our state in the ground. Put it into the ground. Unbelievable.
Are the most concerning, but I don't know that there's a lot more for me to add at this point in time other than...
Oh, I have tons of questions. And when I see you on the debate stage, I will hold you accountable. I don't have much more to add. Give me a break.
Those former Spartans, or I guess you're a Spartan for life, who know the establishment should be aware that it's now a restaurant and they have pretty good pizza.
That is somebody who's uncomfortable with the response to that question. She reflects back on old memories, old synapses, something that's comfortable to her so she can respond because she's very uncomfortable right now, and that they have good pizza. Wow. Wow. The gift that keeps on giving. Unbelievable.
You have time for one or two more.
Yeah, Eric.
Going off that, a lot of the response I've heard over the last 24 hours has been, vote for thee, not for me. And now we're relaxing some rules. We're a month away from everything being lifted. Is there a worry that there's going to be a pushback and just people are going to let go right away?
Eric, over the last year and a half, we've seen there's always a pushback, right? In this environment, there is no making everyone happy on any issue. We're doing the best that we can, following the science to make sure that we keep people
Political
safe.
science.
We have done an incredible job getting people vaccinated. You can almost walk into any vaccination place now without an appointment and just get vaccinated on the spot. We know that people who are eager to get back into the workforce are getting vaccinated. They're seeing their friends and coworkers get vaccinated and having more confidence. We know, too, that there are a lot of people that still have some questions, and that's okay. We want to answer their questions.
You're not answering any of the questions.
These vaccines are safe and effective. It's the best way to get back to normal with the confidence that people are going to be safe. So gathering with people that are all fully vaccinated, whether you're inside or outside, is a safe thing to do.
So it's okay, again, this is the clown show. It's fully safe. Her own words. If you're fully vaccinated. The best thing about this scenario is the day after she got caught, they rescinded their original order, and now June 1st, right? You can gather with more than 6. Weird, but it had nothing to do with her getting caught. That's what her administration says. If you tell a lie long enough, people start to what? Believe it. But for her to go on and say, if you're fully vaccinated, you're safe, then why not open right now? Why not just open up? Let it roll. They're still running with a faulty narrative. Remember, Governor, you said that you weren't going to open up until the virus was eradicated.
And now you switch that, and then you said you wanted 70% vaccination rate, which it doesn't look like you're going to get. Fully vaccinated, not one, fully vaccinated. That's what you said. And now you're rescinding that order. So again, and that answer to that question, that was totally scripted because she did not answer this guy's question.
And I know we're all looking forward to being able to do that. So the more people that can get vaccinated, the better. So if you have been vaccinated, tell your friends and loved ones. Tell them the freedom and the confidence that comes with it. Tell them, the plans you're making this summer. Go to a concert maybe. It just dawned on me that that's something we can do, and I hadn't even thought about that aspect, and that's something that
Well, you don't
I
think a
know
lot, obviously, because when you just go to a restaurant, it's either that you don't care or you don't think. Either way just proves that you should not be the governor of our beloved state.
I would love to do that. Come to our prize here in Grand Rapids this fall.
Longer than any other state. That's just not true. Kids were out for 3 months. I am ordering the closure of all K-12 school buildings in Michigan for 3 weeks. Today I'm signing an executive order to close school buildings to students for the remainder of the calendar year.
And the governor addressing the controversy involving her husband and the allegations he used his position to try and get his boat in the water before Memorial Day.
In Highland Park, Mayor Mike Duggan and Governor Gretchen Whitmer marched down Woodward.
Gretchen Whitmer traveled by private plane from Michigan to Delaware Sunday evening to meet with Biden and to discuss being his number 2.
So there will only be remote learning in all high schools, you're saying, as well as all colleges and universities in Michigan?
Yes, that's right.
Many schools have not had any in-person instruction for basically since last March.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is co-chair of the Presidential Inaugural Committee. Governor Whitmer is in Washington, too.
Many parents frustrated their kids can't go back to school in person full time.
They need to be in school. They need to have their sports.
Watching what the school closures are doing to all of our children of all ages scares me.
These parents are saying it's been rough watching the effects not physically being in the school has taken on their children.
They were telling people not to travel, and then she got that private plane to go visit her dad.
I'm calling on high schools to voluntarily go remote for 2 weeks past spring break.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer forced to apologize for failing to follow her own restrictions that limits tables in Michigan bars and restaurants to no more than 6 people.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer herself vetoed scholarships for parents to hire reading tutors or send their children to open schools.
Ann Arbor, Detroit, and Pontiac.
Flint students will remain out of the classroom. They will continue to learn remotely until further notice.
New test scores are revealing just how far Michigan students have fallen behind.
The largest decline ever in math and reading among students in 4th and 8th grade.
Kids were out for 3 months.
My colleague's book with Alex Thompson on President Biden's physical and cognitive decline during his time in the White House. You were a co-chair of the Biden-Harris campaign. You stuck with Biden until he dropped out of the race. Given your position in the campaign, what signs of decline did you notice?
I've not read the book. I can tell you this, that as the book reports, cabinet members didn't have access. That tells you that, as a governor in a state, halfway across the country who was working her tail off, 160 stops on a bus tour that I headlined through swing states. I was busy working. I was busy doing the connection and the voter registration. And so
you
I
didn't see
can't
signs of
speak to
decline?
that directly.
So you didn't see any.
I didn't see the president frequently, and I can tell you I can't speak to that directly.